The Addams Family.
Here, just scoot in.
By Larry Wilson and Caroline Thompson. Rewrite by Paul Rudnick. Based on the characters by Charles Addams.
Wait, this is autobiographical?
I think I just got that.
Based on a true story.
Faden, exterior Addams Mansion, front steps, Christmas Eve. A group of carolers, their eager faces upturned, sings an endless and cloying roundedly of Little Drummer Boy. They sing with self-righteous good cheer as they pompously begin their umpteenth verse. The camera slowly pans up the Addams Mansion, past the black wreath on the front door, past broken windows, weather-beaten shingles, and creaking shutter. The camera continues to pan to the roof where the Addams Family members, Gomez, Morticia, Granny, Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch, their faithful butler, gleefully pour a cauldron of bubbling, steaming pitch over the edge. As the cauldron tips, the camera pushes inside the blackness of the pitch, fills the screen. Titles begin. Dissolved to interior dim hallway, 7 o'clock a.m. Close up, an oversized cuckoo clock. The clock is a perfect replica of the Addams Family house, down to the creaking shutter. It chimes the hour. Just then, Thing, the disembodied hand with full-bodied personality, climbs into view over the back of the clock. Thing leaps to the floor and scampers down the hall. Low tracking shot. Follow Thing along the hallway. He runs past a couple of doors, past a pair of legs in pajamas, feet in bedroom slippers. He skids to a halt and backtracks to the legs. He pulls on the cuff of the pajama bottoms. They belong to Gomez, who stands in the doorway. Interior Fester's room. Gomez wears a fez and a smoking jacket over his pajamas. Even at this early hour, he puffs on his trademark cigar. Gomez is all enthusiasm of all despair at the moment. He radiates unfathomable woe.
Think of it. Thing, he has been gone for 25 years. For 25 years, we've attempted to contact Fester and the great beyond.
The room is dusty, cobweb-filled, long unoccupied, shrine to Gomez's lost brother, Fester. Gomez drifts in from the doorway. The room has remained untouched since Fester's disappearance as a teenager. The thick coating of dust and cobwebs adorns the mementos of a rapscallion's youth. A football pennant from Alcatraz, headless sports trophies, a high school photo with all the other students keeping as much distance from Fester as possible. As he lovingly surveys the room.
And for 25 years, nothing, not a whisper, not a clue. I'm beginning to think my brother truly lost.
Gomez sighs. Thing tugs at his cuff, pulling him towards the interior hallway. Same time. Galloping ahead of Gomez, Thing leaps onto an old-fashioned door latch, and the door swings open into interior Gomez and Morticia's bedroom. Same time. Gomez approaches the bed. Asleep on satin sheets is Morticia.
Look at her. I would die for her. I would kill for her. Either way, what a bliss.
Low-voiced, incisive, and subtle, with Morticia, smiles are rare. The ghostly whiteness of her complexion is offset by her dark hair, which is spread like a diabolic halo. A dark, barbose, sultry, and remote. She is a ruined beauty. Morticia opens her eyes.
Unhappy, darling?
Oh, yes. Yes, completely.
Cut to interior Pugsley's room, same time. Pugsley crouches on the floor, playing with his kid-sized chemistry set. The walls of his room are covered with road signs he's collected. Sawed-off stop signs, still on their poles, or stacked in the corner. In another corner stands a cylindrical, floor-to-ceiling fish tank, filled with piranha. This energetic monster of a 9-year-old boy has every chance of growing up to be the public monster his parents would be proud of. He mixes chemicals in a beaker. The brew steams, grinning wickedly. Pugsley swallows it down. He contorts, undergoing the beginnings of a transformation, then shrinks to the size of a mouse. Laughing, he crawls out of his human-sized pajamas. Cut to interior attic, same time. Solemn and mournful. 10-year-old Wednesday has black hair and white skin like her mother. She sits on a stool among the stored Addams Family objects. One end of a string tied to her tooth, the other tied to a trap door. The trap door is flung open. Granny pokes her head through. She's a giggly hag who looks like she was in the bathtub when the hairdryer fell her. Wednesday's pulled tooth swings at the door of the string.
Thank you, Grandma.
In a foul mood, Granny stomps up into the attic.
You kids are going to have to kill your own breakfast this morning.
Wednesday opens a cigar box. Inside the box are assorted human and animal teeth, fangs, and dentures, along with a collection of glass eyes. Wednesday drops her tooth in the box. Cut to interior Gomez and Morticia's bedroom, same time. Gomez takes Morticia into his arms. As she languidly drapes herself across his chest, she is caught in a sudden shaft of sunlight. She squints. On the bedside table beside her, Morticia's oversized, carnivorous orchid wilts.
Gomez, the sun. Il me berce comme un poignard.
Tish. What? Wait. Tish. That's French.
Oui.
Mia.
Suddenly bursting with enthusiasm and a sense of purpose, Gomez leaps from the bed, drawing his bedside saber from its sheath and brandishing it at the offending beam.
Oh God!
He thrusts and parries, pantomiming a duel with the shaft of light.
Gomez,
What?
last night you were unhinged. You were like some desperate, howling demon. You frightened me. Do it again?
Gomez, instantly aflame, cut to exterior rooftop, same time. Granny delivers a swift kick to her fog machine.
Lousy bucket of bolts.
The fog machine, straight out of a Jules Verne nightmare, is malfunctioning this morning, struggling to churn out its patches of fog. Cut to interior-exterior Morticia and Gomez's bedroom, same time. At the window, Gomez pokes his head out. In the background, Morticia brushes her long hair.
Granny, where's your fog?
From above, the fog machine hurtles downwards, just missing Gomez's head. 9 millimeters. It crashes below, smashing through the roof of the front porch. Cut to interior entrance hall later. Standing beside the front door is Lurch, the gigantic family butler, a reanimated, stitched-together behemoth. He holds 2 brown paper lunch bags in his enormous hands, the bags content, eager to escape.
Thank you, Lurch.
Pugsley takes his bag, opens it, and peers inside. Lurch growls and Pugsley closes the bag. Cut to exterior balcony outside Gomez and Morticia's bedroom, same time. Gomez is hitting golf balls, Thing serving as his tea, while Morticia sips tea. One of the golf balls flies with incredible speed through the window of the Addams' only neighbor. This well-tended home sits on the hill overlooking the Addams mansion, like some Republican sentinel. Cut to dear neighbor's home, same time. Judge Womack, the Addams' crusty partition neighbor, is having his breakfast when Gomez's golf ball lands in his cornflakes, shattering the bowl, covering him with milk. Jules Womack hurries to his broken window, shaking his fists.
Addams, you moron!
Cut to exterior Gomez and Morticia's balcony, same time, from their vantage point. It appears to Gomez and Morticia that Judge Womack is waving to them. Gomez waves back.
Sorry about the window, Judge. Keep the ball. I have a bucket full.
He holds up a bucket of golf balls. He tosses his golf glove to Thing, who deposits it in the golf bag. Gomez joins Morticia watching the departing school bus.
The little ones, off to school. Bless them.
They grow up so fast. Don't they?
Too fast.
Their POV. Tires smoking, the school bus strains to chug down the road. Gleefully hanging from the rear bumper is Pugsley, dragging his heels. Cut to interior conservatory later that morning. Morticia is snipping the blossoms off her roses. Gomez sits at the table playing chess with Thing.
It's a milestone, Tish. This very evening, our 25th seance. All those years gnawed by guilt, undone by woe, burning with uncertainty.
Oh, Gomez, don't torture yourself. That's my job.
Tish.
Imagine, darling, if Fester did come back, half alive, barely human, a rotting shell.
Don't tease.
Cut to exterior just outside the Addams grounds. Same time, Tully Alford, the family attorney, and his wife, Margaret, approach a gate. A wrought iron monstrosity that opens of its own accord. Though Tully comes here often and Margaret has been here before, they never cease to be startled by gate. Tully has a handsome face and an emitted gray aura that is the mark of a middle-aged misfit. High-strung and superficial, Margaret is more disappointed in Tully than he is in himself. Margaret passes through Gate first, then, as Tully passes through, Gate slams on him, clipping him and catching the end of his coat. Tully fights Gate off for his coat.
Let me go!
Ignoring Tully, Margaret continues stiffly up the walk.
Give me that. Stop it. I'm warning you, it's not a good day.
Cut to interior conservatory, same time. Gomez moves a chess piece. Thing gestures out the window. Gomez and Morticia both look out. As they do, Thing moves 2 chess pieces, cheating.
Tully is here, darling.
Ha! That's truly.
Totally.
Ha! Truly.
Tully.
Holy. That.
Okay, do you know the character from Monsters Inc? Sully? It's like that with the T. Holy.
I see. I am.
Okay.
That truly.
Holy.
That truly. Truly. Tula.
Romping with Gate.
Check.
Thing moves another piece and gestures in triumph.
Checkmate.
Cut to exterior Gate, same time.
Truly, you can't keep up?
I'm trying.
Tully rips his coat to get it away from Gate.
These are your last paying clients. May I remind you?
If it gives you pleasure.
Something has to, like a decent coat, something dressy, for evening. Ask for a loan. Beg.
No loans. I am not a bum.
Before Margaret can reply.
Don't say it. I'll get the money. I've got a plan.
This is so humiliating. Why did I marry you?
Because I said yes.
Margaret marches on toward the front door, skirting the fog machine, as if it had every reason to be there. It hisses as Tully passes, splattering his trousers with fog. Cut to interior entry hall a little later. Tully hands his hat to Lurch and marches off towards Gomez's study. Finding herself alone with Lurch, Margaret is more nervous and intimidated than she would ever admit.
I'm here to see Mrs. Addams about the charity auction.
Growling, Lurch heads for the stairs. Screen up her courage, Margaret resolutely follows. Cut to interior Addams Family portrait gallery a little later. Tully stalks glumly along the hall and past the family portraits, generations of Addams, grotesques in elaborate frames heading toward the imposing doors of Gomez's study. On the floor lies the bare rug, eyes and mouth open. Tully, preoccupied, strides toward the rug. There's a sudden ferocious growl as he steps on it. He kisses the rug, it bites him, clamping its jaws onto his trouser cuff. He flails, dancing around. Finally, managing to shake it off, he finds himself face to face with one of the paintings. A portrait of the teenage Fester Addams, draped in black crepe and holding a lit candle, though how it is holding a lit candle is an utter mystery. At 15, Fester was utterly hairless, with a dead white complexion and eyes rimmed in black like a raccoon's. The identifying plaque reads, Fester Addams, 1947, question mark? Tully regards the portrait intently, almost as if having a premonition.
A premonition?
A premonition! The intricately carved doors to Gomez's study creak open, interrupting the with a reverie. Girding himself, Tully proceeds inside. Cut to interior Gomez's study, same time. A saber slices through the air, its blade glinting. Tully's hand grabs for the hilt of the sword. He misses the blade, embeds in the wall with a thump. It shudders.
Missed.
He leaps into frame, brandishing a saber. Tully backpedals and, as he pulls the sword from the wall, points to something behind Gomez.
What's that?
Gomez turns to see, and Tully charges, wielding the sword as if he means to decapitate Gomez, but Gomez easily parries the blow.
Dirty trick, old man. I like it.
Gomez counters, driving Tully back. He shreds Tully's jacket.
Had enough?
They continue defense. Gomez flips Tully's briefcase open, and a sheaf of legal-looking papers slips out.
Where's my pen? Never mind, I'll use yours.
His blade finds the pen in Tully's inside jacket pocket. He does handsprings back to his desk, landing gracefully in his chair.
First, the old business.
He swivels, warding off another blow, then cavalierly continues the duel as he signs the legal documents scattered before him. Cut to interior Addams' attic, same time. Morticia, Granny, and Margaret sort through Addams' possessions. In trunks, boxed, stacked, covered with shrouds, Morticia opens a gigantic, elaborately carved armoire.
Perhaps it's in here.
I don't think so.
Part of the armoire, an overstuffed garment bag labeled Uncle Knick-Knack's Winter Clothes.
Uncle Knick-Knack's winter wardrobe.
Carefully passes the garment bag to Granny, who chucks it aside. The next garment bag is marked Uncle Knick-Knack's summer clothes.
Uncle Knick-Knack's summer wardrobe.
He passes this garment bag to Granny, who chucks it aside also. Next in the armoire is a body bag.
Uncle Knick-Knack.
Morticia continues going through the armoire. Cut to interior Gomez's study, same time. Gomez and Tully are still dueling, still signing. Gomez hasn't even broken a sweat.
I wish you'd drop by more often.
Tully, exhausted, fights on. His jacket has suffered more shredding from Gomez's blade.
I'd like to, but...
But what, old sport?
Oh, you know.
What?
I'm a bleeder.
Gomez stops dead at a document. Deftly, he disarms Tully, sending his saber flying up and out of view.
What's this? A new proposal? The Fester Addams Offshore Retirement Fund? What would they do?
What wouldn't they do? It's a very worthy cause, and a great addition to the other Fester Adam funds.
Fester, all the tribute to thee. Some called him inhumanely evil.
No.
Only our parents. I called him my brother.
And his memory must live on forever through money. We'll deposit the funds under my name for tax purposes.
Really? That's inspired.
He would have wanted it that way. Beloved Fester.
The sword tumbles back into his hand. They resume dueling.
Indeed. For Fester.
For Fester, a brother.
My brother.
One of a kind.
The doctor had all said so.
Kind to animals, so good with children.
They never proved anything.
$1 million, the perfect amount.
It's brilliant.
It's untraceable.
But, Julie, it's not old business. It's going to have to wait. You know the rules better than that.
What? But this is different. It's in my name. Make an exception.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business, and this
Gomez holds up the proposal.
is new business, and we don't discuss new business again until
With one finger, he rifles through a desk calendar, flipping in those papers. He lands on a distant date.
next quarter.
Tully has gone white.
Next quarter?
Next quarter.
Tully goes back to attack like an enraged bull. Gomez does a kung fu backflip out of his chair, just missing being run through by Tully's saber. The saber skewers an overstuffed chair, and carried by the momentum of the charge, Tully somersaults over the desk, colliding with the chair, landing on the floor.
Fine lunge, but your riposte a tad rusty.
Gomez carelessly flings away his sword. Thing, perched on a decorative samurai helmet, plucks the sword from the air and resheaths it.
Make yourself comfortable, old man, while I get the money for the monthly expenses.
Tully lies ruined on the floor. Gomez grabs Tully's briefcase and makes a brisk exit, closing the office doors behind him. Tully crawls to the door and slides them open a crack, intent on spying on Gomez. He peeks into interior den at the same time. At one of the floor-ceiling bookshelves, Gomez reaches for a book. Pulling it partway from the shelf, we see the book's title, Greed. The entire shelf, a secret panel, revolves and deposits Gomez on the other side of the wall. Then it turns back to its original position. Tully gets to his feet, goes through the doors, and staggers for the bookcase. From behind the bookcase comes the sound of Gomez making his descent into the vault. Creaking, groaning, the sounds of chains and pulleys, vague animal howls, splashing water. Cut to interior attic same time. The armoire has been totally emptied. Morticia looks over the contents of a nearby shelf. Thing sits on the shelf, offering a bejeweled treasure.
There it is. Just what we've been searching for. Thank you, Thing.
Morticia passes Margaret the jewel-encrusted cylinder of webbed gold dragon's heads with gaping jaws at either end. Margaret is at first afraid to touch it, but greed helps her get over it.
What is it?
A family heirloom. A finger trap from the court of Emperor Wu.
It must be worth a fortune. Look at those emeralds. Oh, Morticia, this is too extravagant, even for this auction.
Let's keep it.
Hush. It's for charity. Widows and orphans. We need more of them. Margaret.
Enchanted by the object, Margaret isn't listening. She inserts her fingers, and they're instantly stuck.
The seance tonight. Won't you come? It's Gomez. I'm terribly worried. He won't eat. He can't sleep. He's been coughing up blood.
He coughs up blood?
Well, not like he used to.
Cut to interior den same time. At the bookshelf, Tully reaches for a book, approximately in the same place where Gomez unlocked the secret panel. But Tully's book comes out of its place from the shelf and nothing happens. Fighting back his frustration, Tully reads the title, Gone with the Wind. He opens the cover. A hurricane blast of wind gusts from the open book, blowing Tully's hair straight up, rippling his facial muscles. He manages to close the book and, heart-pounding, returns it to the shelf. Grins sheepishly at Lurch, who's been watching him from where he dusts in the hall, a feather duster in his gigantic hand. Cut to interior Gomez study later. Close up Tully's briefcase, now filled with greenish doubloons. Gomez, wearing a green accountant's eye shade, weighs a final handful of coins on an old-fashioned measuring scale, then tosses them into Tully's briefcase.
There, monthly expenses.
Tully snaps the briefcase shut and hoists it from Gomez's desk. It's dead weight in his hands, another hateful ordeal.
I don't suppose you have any paper money in that vault. Gomez, it's time for the new fund. A checkbook.
Never! I don't trust banks. Strange people, truly.
Really?
No, like you and me. Not like you and me, no. No. Or Fester. The seance, I need you there for him.
Seance?
Tully lugs the briefcase toward the door.
8 o'clock, by the way.
Tully turns back. Gomez flips an extra doubloon across the room. It lands expertly in Tully's vest pocket.
I broke another of Judge Walkman's windows this morning.
Tully resumes his march to the door. Cut to interior Tully's law office later. Tully enters the secretary's alcove, still lugging his impossibly heavy briefcase. His offices were once quite elegant, but now the leather on the chairs is starting to crack and repainting is long overdue. Tully looks around for his secretary.
Miss Bradbury? Miss Bradbury?
She's at lunch, Mr. Alford.
Alarmed, Tully steps into interior Tully's office same time. Seated in a chair on the client's side of Tully's desk is Abigail Craven, an arrogant, aristocratic, 60-ish-year-old woman. Her steely will and conniving manipulativeness are barely veiled by a thin layer of polish and good manners. Tully sets his heavy briefcase on his desk and shakes her hand.
Miss Craven, I was just about to call you.
Oh, I'm certain you were. You've met my son, Gordon, have you, Mr. Alford?
Tully turns amiably, but his face falls at the sight of Gordon Craven. Fleshly and round in his 40s, impeccably, if eccentrically dressed, his dark hair plastered with pomade. With his barrel chest and his unhinged demeanor, he is immediately threatening. Tully blanches.
Is this the one, Mother? The deadbeat you mentioned?
Before Tully can react, Gordon has him by the throat, hanging him upside down from the wall like an oil painting. Choking.
Wait a minute. Hold on. You have to listen to me.
We do, Mr. Alford. And why is that?
Please, just hear me out.
Mother, your call.
Gordon and I enjoy a very special relationship. I'm wild about him.
She's a pip?
Refreshing, no? Down, Gordon.
Mother.
Gordon.
Gordon!
Gordon, let's go! Dropping him on his head. Whimpering, Tully crawls toward his desk.
How is your wife, Mr. Alford? I've heard so much about her. Still charming? Still spending?
Don't have the money to repay you. I've tried everything.
We've lent you a considerable sum, many thousands of dollars. Payment is due.
Soon, I promise.
Oh, Gordon, I want to believe him.
So do I.
He's so terribly trusting.
He's a saint.
Silly boy, make me proud.
Gordon grabs Tully and sweeps him onto his desk. Tully's briefcase pops open as it hits the floor. The Addams doubloons spill out. Abigail and Gordon light up at the sight of the gold. They share a malicious smile. Gordon leers down at the battered Tully.
He lied to us, Mother.
It's not what you think. These are doubloons for the Addams account.
Addams?
There's more. There's a fortune, but no one can get to it. Don't you think I've tried?
Oh, have you? Have you tried hard enough? Ask him, sweetheart.
Gordon descends on Tully menacingly.
No, sweetheart, don't ask.
Tully's cringing point of view. Gordon's face hovers inches from his own. The glare from the light bulb hanging overhead whites out Gordon's hair, making Gordon look as bald as a cue ball. It's like a sudden vision. The inspiration is obviously born of terror. Gordon is a spitting image of the long-lost sister, as he would appear 25 years later. Tully, disbelieving, comes nose to nose with Gordon.
Esther?
Gordon makes a face at his mother. Cut to exterior Addams mansion, silhouetted against the night sky, rain, thunder, and lightning. Cut to interior Addams mansion, dim evening. Morticia stands at the open window. Gomez stands behind her, his arms around her waist.
Hailstones.
And lightning.
It's a miserable night.
I know, darling. Seance weather.
Morticia leans out the window.
Children, we're starting. Put down that antenna.
Another lightning flash. Cut to interior motel room, same time. A typical rundown highway-style motel room with stained fiberglass curtains and a splotchy oil painting. Gordon is seated on the bed, facing a cracked mirror. Abigail stands behind him, consulting a picture of Fester that Tully has lent him.
Oh, it's uncanny. Oh, my little boy, and this hideous creature.
Mother.
Oh, think of it, my angel. No more grubby storefront scams. No more loan sharking to scum like Tully. All that delicious money. I can feel it right in my fingers.
So can I.
Just 1 week and out. You locate the vault, and then we're gone. Poof! Before they notice what's missing.
And Tori?
We need him for now, and later we'll be miles away, and he'll take the rap.
Abigail holds up a shaving brush covered with foam. She begins to shave him. Cut to interior entryway a few minutes later. Lurch peels off Margaret's and Tully's wet overcoats. Margaret wears the same clothes she wore on her earlier visit. The finger trap has made it impossible for her to change.
What a miserable evening.
Don't add to it.
Wednesday has come to escort them. Tully tries to make conversation.
Big night for you guys. Hey, small fry.
Tully reaches out to pat Wednesday's head. She moves away.
Hello, sweetheart. Could you?
Wednesday deftly releases the trap from Margaret's fingers. Margaret is amazed. She tries to straighten her disheveled clothes.
Thank God. Julie, call me a cab.
Get it yourself.
Give me the car keys.
Give it a rest.
Morticia appears.
Welcome, honored guests.
Lurch presents a tray of vile-looking morsels. Morticia motions to the tray.
Entrails?
Cut to Lurch in his organ. He plays a crashing chord.
Let us gather in this house of yearning, in this day of heartsick loss, at this table of woe. Is everyone comfortable?
Cut to interior den, same time. The family of Tully and Margaret sit at a round table, the crystal ball in the center. In the background, Lurch continues to play mood music on the organ. Morticia holds a tarnished gold candle holder in the shape of a raven. The candle is in its belly, and the beams of light glow from its eyes.
Sing, O spirits, hearken all souls. Every year on this date, we offer a clarion call to Fester Addams.
Huxley.
Huxley has a meat cleaver aimed at his sister reluctantly. He hands it to Gomez.
Kids.
From generation to generation, our beacon to the beyond. Do you accept this glorious burden?
May it weigh me down through all my melancholy years.
All close eyes and join hands.
They do. Granny takes a squeamish Margaret's hand.
Oh, what a grip.
Granny pulls away, leaving her hand behind, her sleeves apparently empty.
My hand! She's got my hand!
Left holding Thing, Margaret shrieks. Pugsley laughs appreciatively. Margaret tries to shake Thing off, but he hangs on tightly. Granny cackles.
Excuse me.
Margaret tries to escape. Tully pulls her back to her seat.
Sit down, pumpkin. Join the fun.
Mama, you should know better. Thing, you're a handful.
Thing lets go and runs off. Margaret sits stiff as a corpse. Still chuckling, Granny takes a hold of Margaret's now rigid hand with her own real hand. Margaret shudders. With a last look around the table to ensure that everyone has settled down, Morticia resumes the seance.
Wednesday?
Let us ransom you from the power of the grave. Tonight, O death, let us be your plague.
Mama?
I feel that he's near. Fester Addams, gather your strength and knock 3 times.
Cut to exterior front door, same time. We see Gordon's hand on the door knocker. Just his hand. He pounds 3 times. The heavy hollow sound reverberating. Cut to interior den, same time. Granny's eyes pop open.
Did you hear that?
Ask again, Mama, quickly.
Lurch's organ music perfectly underscores and punctuates the scene.
By all means.
Tully smirks, barely able to contain his smug enthusiasm.
Ask! Ask!
Fester Addams, I demand you knock again.
Cut to exterior front door, same time. Waiting for someone to answer, Gordon's hand again knocks 3 times. This time even harder. Cut to interior den, same time. The knocking reverberates through the room. Jubilant Gomez springs to his feet. Lurch hits a crescendo on the organ.
He's at the door!
He runs out and through the house to the interior-exterior entryway, front stoop, same time. His family at his heels. Gomez eagerly pulls open the front door. There, on the front door steps, stands Gordon Fester. From beyond, Gordon's head is completely shaved, and his clothing and allure are pure Fester. The exact resemblance is shocking. It seems a miracle. Gomez and Fester stare at each other. Fester's eyes have a hard, I dare you to question me look in them. Neither man says a word.
Could it be?
Is that him? It is truly possible.
Oh my.
Morticia looks to Gomez for confirmation. Gomez and Fester continue their face-off. Gomez breaks the stalemate.
Fester.
Gomez?
Gomez throws open his arms. He smothers Fester in an embrace. Fester endures.
Aww.
She now wears a plain, dowdy suit, and her hair is braided coils. She now speaks in a German accent.
Good evening, I am Dr. Pinderschloss.
Into her drawing room. A short while later, Fester stands by the tall fireplace where an enormous fire burns. Steam rises off his wet greatcoat, enveloping him. He seems immobile. A pair of shining black ferret eyes, calculating. Pugsley stands nearby beside Fester's trunk, studying the exotic details.
Oh, how did this happen? How did it come to be? Oh, this story, it is most amazing and also beautiful. He was found in Miami, tangled in tuna net. It was just last month during the Hurricane Helga. The sky, it was black like pitch. The waves, they were walls of doom. Can't you imagine? Then they drag him from ocean, from the very jaws of oblivion. I'm telling you, there are tests, so many tests, and a complete psychological profile. At long last, the Florida Department of Fish and Game, they say. Lo and behold, my oh my, go tell it on the mountaintop. He is your brother. Boom! They give him to me at Human Services, and I am bringing him, after all these years, after who knows what heartache, I am bringing him home to you.
That's preposterous.
Tully nudges her in the ribs to shut up.
But don't you think it's absurd?
Honey.
Isn't that the most ridiculous thing you ever heard?
Blossom.
It certainly is.
Gomez slaps Fester companionably. Fester hates being touched.
And now you're back!
Back to share your joys. Back to share your sorrows. Back to share, well, hey, everything.
Well, I just don't know.
Tully hands Margaret the finger trap to distract her.
Darling, how does this work again?
An infant would understand.
Margaret, disgusted with Tully, demonstrates the finger trap. Her fingers are instantly stuck again.
Fester Addams, home at long last.
Well, at least for a week.
A week?
Don't be ridiculous. You're home.
Sorry, but I have to get back. I've got a lot of things cooking in the Bermuda Triangle.
Oh, Gomez, the Bermuda Triangle.
Devil's Island.
The black hole of Calcutta.
Excuse us.
Second honeymoon.
At the trunk, Pugsley is disintegrating the lock with a beaker of acid and an eyedropper.
Dr. Pinderschloss, will you be joining us too?
Oh, no, I really must be going. But I will be back, you can bet. To be checking on Fester's adjustment, of course, no other reasoning.
The acid has eaten away the lock on Fester's trunk. Pugsley opens the trunk with a crack. He fishes among the contents, his arm inside, up to the shoulder. Something snaps. He grins, then pulls out his hand. His fingers are crushed in a rusty, ferocious-looking bear trap.
Cool.
Wednesday alone stands apart in her mournful fashion. She is instinctively suspicious of this new Fester.
Nobody gets out of the Bermuda Triangle. Not even for a vacation. Everyone knows that.
Oh, my little one, there is so much you do not understand. The human spirit. It is a very hard thing to kill.
Even with a chainsaw.
Abigail pinches Wednesday's cheeks hard. Wednesday continues to stare at Fester. Cut to interior Fester's room later. Morticia has shown Fester to his room. She begins to open Fester's trunk and go through it.
Unpacking. You must be exhausted. Let me.
No, that's all right. You don't have to.
Morticia begins removing Fester's burglary equipment from the trunk.
A crowbar. Dynamite. Cyanide. Fester. As if we'd run out. Good night.
She exits. Fester examines 2 photographs in a leather frame on the bureau. Imprinted below the face of the beautiful girl on the left is the name Flora. Below the beautiful girl on the right is Fauna. It's clear that they are identical twins. The clock in the hall strikes midnight. It's time to go to work. He opens the door to his room and peeks out. He sees Wednesday in her doorway across the hallway, staring back at him. He whips back into his room.
Ah, nosy little brat.
He sits on the edge of the bed. A cloud of dust billows around him. Yawning, he lies down, sinking into the mattress so deeply that he's almost buried alive. Getting comfortable, he burrows deeper. Close up, Fester's eyes. Who knows the terrors they've seen? But now they lose their coldness, getting dreamy. Then he hears the creak of his door opening.
Who's there?
He sees a shadow, huge on the wall, a sinister hand with wriggling fingers. Fester goes for the knife he keeps in his boot, which is next to the bed on the floor. The door slams. Veins in his forehead bulge. The window explodes open. The wet wind snuffs out the candlelight. Lightning illuminates a hand gripping the bedspread. There's a vague flickering from one of the candles. Fester seizes it and nurses the flame, using it to relight the rest of the candles. As the room fills with candlelight, Fester sees Thing sitting on one of his legs. Fester jumps with fear, pushing against the headboard. He shakes his leg violently, throwing Thing off. He screams. Cut to interior Morticia and Gomez's bedroom same time. Gomez and Morticia snuggle in bed in the afterglow of their celebration. Her head resting dreamily on his shoulder. Fester's scream is heard distinctly from down the hall.
My own dear brother! I've got goosebumps.
I know.
Screams in the night can only mean one thing.
They wait, listening. Fester screams again.
He's home.
They gaze together out into the night as Fester continues to scream. They both smile. Cut to interior Fester's room, horny. Obviously moved, Gomez stands in Fester's room, watching him sleep. Thing snoozes on Fester's chest like a cat. Gomez gently lifts him and tucks him into the pocket of his smoking jacket. Instantly awake, certain that Gomez is about to attack him, Fester leaps from the bed, jumps Gomez, and pins him to the floor. Pulling his knife from his boot, he presses the blade against his throat.
Breakfast?
Gomez judo flips Fester off his chest and springs to his feet.
It's good to have you back. Let's go.
He leads the way out. He pauses and turns.
Best 2 out of 3?
Cut to interior Addams' kitchen later. The family eats breakfast in the subterranean kitchen. Only Pugsley is missing. The walls sweat and smoke crawls along the floor. Granny works at the stove. That's a coal-burning monstrosity. Flames belch out of the oven. The top is a gigantic grill where innards and various unidentifiable things sizzle throughout. Granny flips them onto family members' plates. Lurch assists her. Morticia has seated a Fester between Gomez and herself.
I have the salt.
What do we say?
Now.
Morticia smiles approvingly and passes Wednesday the salt.
What is that?
Mama's spécialité de la maison.
Start with the eyes.
Sleep well?
Like the dead.
Really? Who knew the Bermuda Triangle would change a man so much? You used to toss and turn all night. We had to chain you to the bedposts.
It doesn't make sense.
Fester had no idea a simple exchange could be so fraught with pitfalls. He already feels cornered.
The Bermuda Triangle is such a large, mysterious place. You'd be surprised all the things you don't know.
She certainly would. Wednesday adores the Bermuda Triangle. She studies it. Death at sea. She's hooked.
Ask me anything.
Fester turns his back on Wednesday and addresses Gomez.
Being in my old room brings back memories. Remember Camp Custer?
For preteen offenders?
I'd like to spend today wandering through the house remembering.
No. Sorry, old man. No wondering today. Today, we're simply going straight to the vault.
Pugsley runs into the room, dragging a freshly stolen stop sign still on its pole. Gomez holds up a finger, shushing everyone. Just then, over shoulder screeching sound, or outside, off-screen sound, screeching sound of cars heading for a collision is heard. Finally, the cars collide. There's a satisfying crunch of metal. Everyone beams.
Oh, 1 second.
Cut to interior den later. Gomez and Fester are in front of the bookcase. That's the entrance to the vault. Gomez reaches for a book. Fester is right there with him, his hand on Gomez's hand as he goes to pull the old volume. Fester reads the title.
Read.
They share a smile. The bookcase swings open. Fester eagerly follows Gomez inside. Cut to interior secret chamber moments later. Gomez runs gleefully down a flight of steps.
I feel like a child again.
Gomez reaches a small circular room. Gomez looks up. Over his head hang hundreds of rusty chains. Gomez grabs one of the chains. As he does so, he punches Fester on the shoulder.
Tag, you're it.
He and Fester drop out of view through the trapdoor. Interior beneath the secret chamber. Seconds later, Gomez and Fester are sliding down a twisting slide. Gomez is gleeful. Fester is petrified. Cut to interior underground river. The slide deposits Gomez and Fester on a dock, leading to the underground river. Gomez is all high spirits, while Fester is wobbly.
Smell that air, Fester.
Fester inhales. Dutifully, he gags.
Like a tomb.
Cut to interior attic same time. Wednesday and Pugsley are exploring the attic, investigating various items.
Do you think that's really Uncle Festo?
Father says so, but I think Mother isn't sure.
Wednesday stands in front of an electric chair.
Pugsley sit in the chair
Why?
so we can play a game.
What game?
It's called Do I Feel Lucky?
Cut to interior entrance of the vault same time. Singing, Gomez stands before a massive metal door 6 feet across and 10 feet high, set right into the rock of the grotto.
The vault?
Gomez goes to work on the oversized combination lock.
2 to the right, 10 to the left, and then around to
5?
11. 2, 10, 11. Eyes, fingers, toes.
Fester licks his lips in anticipation.
So many years.
Long barren years.
Years that we wasted.
Years that will bring back.
We enter together a triumphant reunion.
We enter as
Return.
we enter as brothers. We enter
As one.
Gomez slowly opens the door, revealing interior vault same time. Rather than a treasure trove, it looks like a decrepit 19th century men's club. Torn red leather chairs, an assortment of torture devices and hunting trophies, an elaborate bar with a cracked mirror.
Welcome back.
Thanks.
Our secret place. If these walls could talk, eh, old man?
What would they say?
You tell me.
You got first?
Senior partner.
Junior spaceman?
First a brandy. I've got a real treat in store.
Where is it, you ridiculous imbecile?
Gomez turns his arms overflowing with film cans.
Showtime!
Cut to interior attic same time. Wednesday is strapping Pugsley's arms and legs into the electric chair.
But if he's not Uncle Festo, then who is he?
Somebody else.
Wednesday pushes a button and the lights on the chair go on. The entire mechanism hums and vibrates.
It needs to warm up
Oh, why?
so it can kill you.
I knew that.
Get to interior outer treasure room same time. Gomez is running home movies. He and Fester sit side by side in armchairs. On the home movie screen, the young Gomez and Fester, shark fins strapped to their backs, sneak around a corner toward a swimming pool crowded with kids. The film then jump cuts to young Gomez has buried young Fester in the sand of the beach. His head appears beneath the mound. A few yards away, a single hand struggles out of the sand. Clearly another person. The film jumps to a handheld 16mm camera weaves its way through a group of ballgoers, finally focusing on a head and shoulder shot of Gomez and Fester, now in their teens. The Addams boys look both sinister and dashing in their tuxedos, and Gomez is already smoking his trademark cigar.
Here, the debut ball. Remember that fateful night?
Of course, your first cigar?
What? Come on, old man, I've smoked since I was 5. Mother insisted.
On the screen, the boys flank their dates, the twins from the pictures on Fester's bureau. Beautiful redheads with dementia in their eyes. Throughout, the twins are only seen from the waist up.
Flora and fauna. Quite the pair, eh, Gomez?
Gomez sighs and then becomes extremely dramatic.
Can you ever forgive me?
What?
I didn't love them yet. I wooed them, both out of the foolish pride. You were so dashing. You could have any woman you wanted, dead or alive, but I was jealous. Insanely jealous. I admit that now, but I never meant to drive you off. Not to the Bermuda Triangle.
Water under the bridge. Forgiven, forgotten.
Gomez holds out his arm. Fester endures the hug. Gomez turns the hug into a painful headlock. Fester gasps for breath.
Say the password.
The last one!
Come on. Stop fooling. You remember?
I don't know what you're talking about!
Gomez, perplexed, releases Fester.
44. You forgot our secret password? The word we used 100 times a day, our special private name for each other?
That was a long time ago and we were children. You killed me! You demented freak!
Did you say demented freak?
Yes, you demented freak!
Fester has accidentally hit upon the password. Gomez lights up. He flings open his arms.
Demented freak!
Cut to a tear at the same time. The electric chair is really humming. Pugsley now has the chair's helmet on as well. Wednesday's about to throw the huge master switch. As Wednesday's about to throw the switch, Morticia's head appears from the trapdoor.
Children, what are you doing?
Morticia climbs into the attic.
I'm going to electrocute him.
But we're late for the charity auction.
Mother.
Morticia pretends to be stern.
I said no.
Please!
Oh, all right.
She smiles and flips the switch. Angle on Wednesday's face as we hear the sound of high voltage sizzling Pugsley. Wednesday's very solemn, her usual impassive self. Then a smile breaks through. Cut to interior Bayshore Women's Club later. Close up on the finger trap. Jewels glittering. Margaret Alford blushes, standing on the auction block as if she were the item up for auction. She holds her hands aloft, fingers still ensnarled in the ancient finger trap. She wears the same disheveled dress, unable to disguise its slept-in look. On the stage beside her, Judge Womack acts as the event's auctioneer. He reads into the microphone from the catalog.
Encrusted with rubies and 15 emerald chips. It was donated by Morticia and Gomez Addams.
Gomez and Morticia sit with their family. They look around modestly. Reaction shots of various people in the crowd, staring at the Addams family in horror and disbelief.
Now remember, folks, the money we raise goes to help those less fortunate. This year, half of proceeds will benefit the elderly and mentally disabled. I open the bidding at $5,000.
Bah! Not enough!
He thrusts up his arm.
20,000.
For the elderly and the insane. They've earned it.
Judge Womack is surprised at the bid. Next to him, Margaret looks confused.
What are they doing? It's theirs.
I have 20, going once, going twice.
25. Cara mia.
25, going once, going twice, 25,
Morticia bashfully raises her hand.
25.
30. Mon sauvage.
Gomez raises his hand.
35. You are divine.
Morticia raises her hand.
50.
Morticia hasn't raised her arm. She lowers it, but keeps it extended for Gomez to kiss. He does so passionately.
I hear $50,000. Going once, going twice. 50, going once, going twice. Here we go. 50. Do I hear 51? Do I hear 52? Come on,
Your
man.
turn, my ecstasy.
It's yours. Amour mio.
You spoil me, mon amour.
Judge Womack's hammers gavel as Margaret's jaw drops.
Sold to Morticia Addams for $50,000.
Cut to interior Addams family car desk. Close up on the finger trap. The jewels glinting in the passing lights. Fester has his fingers trapped in it. He stares at it, almost as if hypnotized.
Gomez, you shouldn't have.
It's for charity.
Fester pulls his fingers, trying to free them.
How do you get it off?
Morticia releases it for him.
There's a trick to it, of course.
Gomez shares a look with Wednesday, then leans forward from his place on the other side of Morticia, and eyebrows knitted frowns at Fester. Cut to interior dining room later. Gomez's elaborate model train layout fills the room. The Lionel train traces through the remains of a strip-mined mountain terrace. Thing gallops into view around one of the mountains, then paces back and forth.
How do you take it off? That's absurd. That finger trap was a party favor at his 10th birthday.
Cut to interior Fester's room bedtime. Preparing to go to the vault, Fester, with cool professionalism, reaches into the drawer for the nitroglycerin and comes up with a photo of young Fester and Gomez at Camp Fester. He stares at the picture, then tosses it aside as if touching it burned him. He picks up the nitro and proceeds with his preparations. Cut to interior Pugsley's room at the same time. Morticia is seated on the bed. She has a family photo album on her lap. Wednesday and Pugsley, in pajamas, sit beside her looking at the album.
Is that father when he was little?
Yes. And that's Uncle Fester.
Where are they?
At a birthday party. See the fire trucks?
From Gomez's train room, we hear a voice howl, followed by another whistle blast.
Oh no.
Father's playing with his chains.
He must be upset.
It's always a bad sign. Hobbies.
Cut to interior Addams library, same time. Grimly determined, Fester removes the well-worn copy of Greed from the shelf and the secret panel opens. He's headed for the vault. Cut to interior dining room, same time. The model trains whistle at full blast, shrieking in warning as they round Dead Man's Curve, heading for each other. They pass Gomez, still raving, almost to the boiling point.
These thoughts, I'm in torment. What is the truth? What is fiction?
Cut to interior secret chamber, same time. Fester's at the interior wall. He pushes against it, seeing if that will make it turn. Then he remembers. He looks above, and there hang the countless chains, each with a rusted metal grip on the end. Which chain to pull? Fester randomly yanks one of the chains. The chain yanks back, pulling Fester straight upwards with a screech of pulleys and gears. The chain rockets him, hanging for dear life toward a narrow gap in what may or may not be a ceiling. Fester disappears into the gap. Cut to interior Pugsley's room, same time. Morticia and the children are listening to the sounds of the trains. Now a chugging, whistling cacophony.
He's using the diesel.
A shrill blast is heard.
The covered bridge.
Another blast.
Dead Man's Curve.
I know what he's worried about.
So do I, darling. But let's go to bed. Now, have you brushed your teeth and washed behind your ears?
I did. I'm sorry.
Another blast.
Does that mean really Uncle Fester?
Uncle Fester whooshes through the floor-to-ceiling piranha tank. Only Morticia sees this. Cut to interior dining room, same time. The train crashes inland.
Spirit above, give me a sign. Shall I be joyous or shall I be cursed?
The trains collide. Metal rends. Smoke and flame. Cut to exterior yard, middle of the night. A coal chute set in the side of the house drops open, depositing the soaked, disoriented Fester at the feet of Morticia. Silhouetted by the full moon, she stands regally above him, waiting for him, her velvet cloak covering her nightclothes.
Sleepless night? Walk with me, Fester.
She turns and glides away. Fester has no choice but to follow. Cut to exterior back of the house cemetery, middle of the night.
53 now.
Morticia leads Fester into the chill of the cemetery. They follow a path that winds among the elaborate tombstones of the Addams dead. As they pass them, Morticia points out various monuments.
Aunt Laborgia, executed by a firing squad. Cousin Fledge, torn limb from limb by 4 wild horses. And darling Uncle Aymar.
Uncle Aymar is a hooded executioner with an upraised axe. There is an unearthly moan seeming to come from the two.
Buried alive. Psychopaths, fiends, mad dog killers. Roots, Fester. Pioneers. Lest we forget.
Among the statuary is a marble vulture, posed with the dignity of an eagle on a flagpole. But the flagpole is actually a replica of Fester's bald head.
Your beloved Muerto. After you left, he was simply a different vulture. He wouldn't circle, he wouldn't peck. That's how much you mean to this family.
They reach the mausoleum, where Mother and Father Addams lie. Morticia gazes up at the likeness of Mother and Father Addams, but Fester averts his eyes. The faces seem to be staring directly at him.
Okay.
Mother and Father Addams. Imagine what we owe them. Oh, Fester, how I wish the children could have known them better. But tell that to an angry mob.
She turns to trace the family crest carved into the mausoleum.
3 lions rampant, the vulture ascendant, and our credo, sic gorgiamus alus subjectatos nunc. We gladly feast on those who would subdue us. Not just pretty words. As an Addams, you understand completely, don't you?
She stares levelly at him.
As an Addams, yes, I do.
Good night, Fester.
He heads towards the house. She turns.
Rest in peace.
Cut to interior hallway, early morning. Fester's on the phone, hunched over, his eyes darting to make sure that no one overhears.
They're on to me, Mother. I'm almost sure of it. Yes, of course I've tried. I still can't find it. You've got to get over here.
Wednesday is bound and gagged on a chair in the background. Pugsley runs up to Fester with 2 bottles of poison. Fester, vaguely impatient, points to one. Pugsley nods and runs off.
Don't say that. You know what? You know that I do.
Cut to interior Addams' kitchen a few minutes later. Granny and Lurch are doing the dishes. Morticia sits at the kitchen table, sipping a cup of tea. Wednesday stands before Morticia, holding up a large, nasty-looking carving knife.
Is that for your brother?
Wednesday nods.
I don't think so.
Morticia hands Wednesday a much larger, even nastier-looking knife. Wednesday takes the knife and exits.
His trains are everywhere. The children are beside themselves. This can't go on. How can I help him? Tell me, Mama.
Well, let's look it up.
Granny wipes her hands and opens a large, ragged, leather-bound book. She starts thumbing through the pages.
Troubled husbands, adultery,
Oh, no.
financial, money troubles,
No.
turned into a toad or a reptile.
Is there an index?
Here it is. Suspicion and anxiety in husbands.
What does it say?
Drain all his blood. Replace it with vinegar overnight. Leave a headless rooster beneath his pillow. Smear his forehead, palms, and feet with the tears of a monkey. Add milk.
I can't do that. It's barbaric. Really, Mama, I'm surprised at you. Milk?
Lurch growls in agreement. Cut to interior Uncle Fester's bedroom, same time. Fester is sitting on the bed, kneading his hands, very upset. Abigail is calmly inspecting the room, studying various objects with disdain.
They know I'm a fraud, the whole bunch. It's not going to work.
Oh, who knows? Gomez, that overheated moron?
He's no moron. He's Fester's brother. They had some awful fight years ago. He's suspicious. They all are. I can tell.
Oh, really? Well, thank God I came over. I can counsel the troubled family, ease their distress. It's my calling. Remember, Gordon.
What?
I am a doctor.
Cut to interior Adam's drawing room a few minutes later. Gomez and Morticia sit with Abigail.
Dr. Pinderschloss is here to help. Should Gomez speak with Fester? He's right outside the door.
I would like to speak with Fester.
Gomez gets up and stalks toward the door, talking louder and louder.
If that were Fester, but that's not! It's an imposter! An imposter!
Outside the door, Fester hears and storms off. Interior upstairs hallway, same time. Fester is marching toward his room when he hears,
Oh, villain, villain, smiling damn villain.
Who calls me a villain? Breaks my paint across, plucks off my beard and blows it in my face.
If I must strike you dead, I will.
Fester gets a genuine gleam in his eyes.
Bloodshed.
He hurries back to the top of the staircase and looks down into the front hall, where swords drawn, dueling Wednesday backs Pugsley in. Pugsley and Wednesday thrust and parry, hack and slice. Pugsley runs Wednesday through, she staggers, then falls dead.
No, give me that sword.
Pugsley hands him the sword.
Haven't you ever slaughtered anyone?
He's only a child.
No excuse. Aim for the major artery, the jugular.
That's what I said.
Cut to interior drawing room, same time. Gomez is still raving.
A faker, a phony, an utter fraud, a base, a deceitful.
Mr. Addams, I believe I am understanding. I will help, yes? The theory of displacement. Is this familiar?
No, Tish.
Morticia shakes her head.
It is too exciting. I will explain.
It is unpleasant.
Deeply.
Gomez sits beside Morticia. He takes her hand. They are both fascinated.
Your very own brother. You drive him away. Go, off with you. But then you are feeling the little black monster.
Pugsley?
Guilt, yes. Your brother returns. You feel guilty. You displace.
I do.
The feelings in your brain cells, they bubble and they collide. You suspect things. You love him, then you resent him. Love, hate, love. Like for Mama, no?
But I don't hate my mother. It was an accident.
It is a very common psychosis. I am seeing it every day.
Lucky doctor.
Displacement. How bizarre. And here I imagine Fester was the problem. He's sullen.
He's furtive.
He's backstabbing.
He sulks.
I suspect him.
You're unbalanced.
I hate him.
But that's love.
By God, you're right. Here's Fester.
Gomez is suddenly jubilant again.
Thank you, Dr. Pinderschloss.
I do what I can.
Cut to interior Wednesday's room, same time. Fester is seated on a leather couch. Pugsley and Wednesday are snuggled up on either side. They are all looking at an enormous ancient book, which Fester holds open in his lap. Close up on the book's cover, the title reads, Wounds, Scars, and Gouges.
You see, children, there's a lot to learn. Gangrene.
Uncle Fester, how do you know so much?
In the Bermuda Triangle.
Look, children, a new chapter.
Oh boy! Scabs!
Cut to exterior Addams lawn. An explosion fills the screen as dirt and debris go flying. As the smoke clears, Engel and Fester crashed over a detonator. He has clearly just caused the explosion. Wednesday and Pugsley stand or crouch beside him.
3-post dynamite with a nitroglycerin cap. It's perfect for small homes, carports, and tool sheds.
What about picnics?
Fester smiles approvingly. Cut to interior of Fester's room 2 minutes later.
Everyone will be at the children's play tonight, correct?
Oh, yes, I've been working with them. It's going to be fun.
Fun? Fun? Is that what we're here for? Fun?
She slaps Fester. Then she immediately grabs him and hugs him.
Oh, darling, I'm sorry. You see what they've driven me to. I've raised a hand to my child, my reason to live. Oh, you can't go to the play.
But the kids.
The house will be deserted. The vault will be ours.
But
Abigail hugs Fester's head to her bosom.
Oh, do you hear it, my treasure? My heartbeat. It beats only for you. Listen closely. It says, Gordon, I love you. Gordon, the vault.
I do hear it.
And soon we'll have all the money and we'll be far from here. Loving mother, grateful son. This is no time for the theater. Understood?
Cut to exterior roof evening. Fester stands alone on the roof, looking out over the cemetery, brooding.
There you are, at last.
Gomez joins Fester at the railing.
What a fool I was to doubt you. Dr. Pinenschlossen explained everything. What a lovely woman, so chilly. Displacement. It's a common psychosis, isn't that grand?
Is it?
Gomez slaps an arm around him.
Look at it, Fester.
Beaming, Gomez gazes down into the cemetery. It's morbid and magnificent in the moonlight. The swamp bubbles, patches of fog crawl.
The primal ooze, quicksand, fumes, toxic waste, it's all ours, Fester. You belong here, old man.
You don't know what you're asking. You have a beautiful wife, wonderful kids, a wasteland. I'm in the way.
In the way? Brother?
Gomez, take care for you. Life is all fun and games, a dance in the graveyard. Stench and decay, but things change.
Precisely, you're back. Those are years apart, Fester. We can't do that again. You're home.
Gomez holds out his hand. Thing is there with a golf club. Gomez passes the club to Fester. Thing supplies Gomez with another club. The two men hit golf balls off the roof and over the cemetery into the darkness. In the distance, we hear the sound of a window breaking.
Ow! Addams, you moron!
Cut to interior Fester's room later. Fester sits on the edge of his bed, brooding. Wednesday and Pugsley appear in the doorway.
Come on, Uncle Fester, come to the play.
I said I was busy.
You said you'd help us with the Shakespeare and the blood.
I changed my mind.
Cut to interior school auditorium lobby night. The lobby is crowded with families of students. As the Addamses enter, a young woman, Susan Firkins, approaches. Morticia, Susan is Wednesday's teacher. She's wholesome, frazzled, and a little too eager.
Mrs. Addams?
Yes?
Can I see you for a moment? I'm Susan Firkins, Wednesday's teacher.
Oh, of course. Miss Firkins. Wednesday's told us so much about you. Have you ever heard from your husband?
Wednesday's an excellent student, but frankly, I'm concerned.
Susan is showing Morticia a bulletin board hanging on one side of the lobby.
This is our class bulletin board. This month, our theme is Our Heroes, people we love and admire. You see, Sarah Ringo has chosen the president.
She points to a magazine cover of President Bush hanging next to a child's essay.
Isn't that sweet? And Harmony Field has picked Oprah Winfrey.
Have you spoken to her parents?
They brought in this picture of Clefferna Addams.
She points to a photo of an oil painting of an evil-looking crone.
Wednesday's great aunt Calpurnia. She was burned as a witch in 1706. They say she danced naked in the town square and enslaved a minister.
Really?
Oh, yes. But don't worry. We've told Wednesday. College first.
Angle on Susan with her mouth hanging open. Cut to interior school auditorium lobby night. Tully and Margaret are chatting with the Addams. The Alfred son, Tully Jr., is wearing a filth elf costume.
Isn't he adorable? I made this myself.
It's charming. What is he, a lizard?
An elf? Look at you. That's better. You're just too precious for words. Why, I could just eat you alive.
No, Margaret. Too young.
Oh, Gomez. Where's Fester this evening?
Moody as usual. We're all out of a jaunt, and he's home alone in the big empty house.
What a shame.
Cut to interior Fester's room, same time. At his desk now, Fester works with great concentration. He appears to be building a bomb. He looks at the clock. He hurries. Cut to interior school auditorium, same time. Gomez attempts to schmooze Judge Womack.
I was hoping you'd come over and play a round of golf.
I'd rather rot in hell.
Ah, previous engagement.
He takes one of his cigars in Judge Womack's breast pocket and heads off to join his family. Cut to interior variety show stage later. A half dozen adorable 7-year-olds are on stage singing We Are the World. They finish to the enthusiastic applause of the auditorium full of parents. Morticia and Gomez politely join in while Lurch fidgets and Granny slumps bored in her chair.
The children are next.
Lurch stops fidgeting and Granny sits up straight. Cut to interior backstage, same time. Sitting at the makeup mirror, Wednesday and Pugsley are putting on their armor. Fester is suddenly behind them, reflected in the mirror.
I changed my mind.
He thrusts a package toward them. Cut to exterior Addams' house, same time. Abigail is hammering on the door with the knocker.
Gordon! Gordon, it's Mother! Where are you? Oh, I never should have used him.
She slumps down the porch steps and heads around the side of the house, peering in windows. Cut to interior auditorium, same time. Pushing people aside, Fester forces his way to where his family is seated. They're happy to see him.
I knew you couldn't stay away, old man.
Cut to exterior Addams Family mansion, same time. Standing on tiptoes, Abigail tries yet another window. At her ankles, vines snake out from a window well. They wrap firmly around her ankles. She gapes down at them and screams. There's no one to hear her, and no escape. The vines go taut, preparing to pull her under. Cut to interior variety show stage a short while later. Pugsley and Wednesday in their elaborate costumes are drawing to the climax of their scene from Hamlet. As they duel, they act their little Addams' hearts out.
Of all occasions do inform against me and spur my dull revenge. Oh, from this time forth my thoughts be bloody or be nothing worth. If I must strike you dead, I will.
Pugsley lands the first blow, slashing Wednesday's arm. Her sleeve rends and blood spurts.
A hit! A very palpable hit.
They both press the attack, drawing blood. In a fatal blow, Pugsley slashes Wednesday's jugular and makes horrible gurgling noises. Blood spurts and arterial squirts.
Oh, proud death, what feast is toward in thine eternal cell.
In a final vengeful moment, Wednesday hacks at Pugsley's left arm, cutting it off, sending a gusher of blood out of his stump. The arm drops to the stage and bounces off, landing in Judge Womack's lap. Wednesday clutches her bleeding throat.
Sweet oblivion, open your arms.
Wednesday falls dead. The audience sits perfectly still, jaws agape, deep in shock. Then the Addams family leaps as one to their feet, applauding wildly.
Bravo!
The lights on stage come up, and Pugsley and Wednesday bow deeply, accepting their family's applause. Fester's applauds louder than anyone.
Yeah!
Cut to interior Wednesday's bedroom later that night. Fester is tucking Wednesday into bed. They are now devoted friends.
There were sailors and pirates and an airplane full of tourists from Miami Beach, all lost in the triangle.
Uncle Fester, someday will you take me there?
Promise. Good night, Wednesday. You were terrific.
He kisses her on the forehead. She holds out her headless doll. Fester kisses the doll's empty neck. Wednesday holds out the doll's severed head. Fester kisses it. Cut to exterior symmetry. Morticia is standing in the moonlight. Gomez sits on a bench nearby.
What a sublime evening. A theatrical triumph.
Shakespearean delight. All hail Fester.
It's like a dream. When we first met years ago, it was an evening much like this. Magic in the air. A boy.
Girl,
An open grave. It was my first funeral.
you were so beautiful, pale and mysterious. No one even looked at the corpse.
Your cousin Balthazar, you were still a suspect. I couldn't stop staring all during the eulogy. Your eyes, your mustache, your laugh.
You bewitched me. I proposed that very night.
Just think, someday we'll be buried here, side by side, 6 feet under, in matching coffins, our lifeless bodies rotting together for all eternity.
Cara mia.
Mon sauvage.
They kiss in the moonlight. As they do, the camera pans above their heads. We see the headstone featuring Uncle Fester. Cut to interior conservatory morning. Lurch is sweeping up among the plants. He comes upon Abigail, tightly wrapped in a plant cocoon. Lurch growls. Cut to interior kitchen later. The cheerful Addams breakfast is underway. Fester is at the table with the family.
Did you like the blood?
Oh, thanks. A whole bucket. I was so proud.
Weren't we all? Wednesday, play with your food.
Wednesday has something moving in her cereal bowl. She teases it with her fork. Granny screams at the sideboard.
Mama?
Granny pulls a skeleton of a shin and foot out of one of the serving dishes.
Put this in here.
Pugsley and Fester exchange a conspiratorial glance and giggle.
That's for company.
Rascals.
Abigail enters, peeling off bits of the vines that had encased her.
Doctor, you are so right. What an evening.
Fester fit right in.
The displacement is over.
Yes, yes. Well, isn't that nice?
Do you really have to go?
Yes, I'm afraid he does.
Well, if he insists upon leaving, we shall mark the occasion. Tish,
We've planned a farewell party.
we've invited the whole clan.
Amazed by the gesture, Fester looks over at Gomez and Morticia.
Oh, what a lovely gesture.
Bloodshed, anguish, breakfast. We're a family again. And we owe it all to you, Dr. Pinderschloss.
Please, Greta.
Greta.
Fester, walk me out, please, darling.
Cut to exterior front walk a little later. Fester is escorting Abigail through the yard.
I'm fine, Mother. I'm completely in control.
They're not your family, Gordon. I am. They don't love you. I do. They're an evil and corrupt and degraded. I can give you that as well.
I'm fine, really.
We'll see.
They reach gate.
Open up!
Even gate is intimidated and swings open. Cut to interior Morticia's conservatory evening. Fester is cutting the blooms off Morticia's roses.
We're opening the ballroom now.
Fester hesitates, then follows Morticia. Cut to interior hallway outside ballroom a short time later, each carrying a lighted candelabra. Morticia, Gomez, Fester, Granny, Lurch, Pugsley, and Wednesday stand in front of the tall, elaborately carved oaken double doors. Gomez unlatches them. Together they push them open and step into the ballroom. Moonlight streams in through the floor-to-ceiling windows, revealing the true enormity of the ballroom. Gomez steps up to Morticia and embraces her. They begin to dance. Fester remains frozen in the center of the ballroom, overwhelmed by the grandeur.
A party? For me here?
As Gomez and Morticia waltz past.
All for you.
Tish, how long has it been since we've waltzed?
Oh, Gomez. Hours.
He dips Morticia. As she bends back, she reaches for one of the shrouds and whips it off. It fills the screen black. Cut to interior ballroom. When the shroud comes down, the party is in full swing. A small orchestra plays a fractured waltz. Thing is a third hand on the bass. Gomez and Morticia dance among the Addams family relatives. That portrait gallery of Dorothy to life.
Cut to the exterior Addams mansion. The front door opens and Lurch appears. Looks out and his face lights up as he sees a new arrival. Angle on Cousin It! Driving up in his bubble-topped It-mobile. He parks his car and flips open the top. Cousin It is a hairball who gleeps and squeaks in a language the Addams have no trouble understanding. He pauses for a moment to survey the house. Cut to interior ballroom. A little later, Lurch escorts Cousin It into the ballroom. Gomez and Morticia come over to greet him.
It, old man.
You're right. Far too long.
Cousin It looks around, obviously checking out the women. He sees Margaret on the dance floor with Tully. It runs a hand through his hair, slicking it back, then excuses himself. Margaret clings stiffly to Tully in the midst of all this Addams weirdness.
The first time we've been dancing in ages, and you take me here?
It's a formal occasion.
Don't let me out of your sight.
Don't threaten me.
There's a tap on Margaret's shoulder. She turns. Before her is Cousin It, hat in hand, eager to cut in. He takes her in his arms and spins away with her.
Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Wednesday is dancing with Lumpy Addams, a teenage hunchback. Morticia approaches them.
Wednesday,
Yes, Mother?
could you run upstairs and check on your uncle?
Cut to interior Fester's room. A minute later, the door opens and Wednesday peeks inside.
Uncle Fester?
She hears water running in Fester's bathroom. The sound of voices beneath it. Inside the bathroom, Fester turns off the water. The pipes make a clang. Then there's silence.
Yes, Mother, I understand. I hear you.
I hope so, Gordon. I'm counting on you. Don't buckle.
It's not going to be easy. There are people everywhere.
You can do it if you just stop whining. No one likes that. It's unattractive.
All right, fine. I'll try and reach the vault tonight. But if I can't, well, then that's it. Okay, Mother?
Wednesday stands frozen in the doorway.
You're fake. I knew it.
Abigail and Fester wheel around on her. The straight razor catches the light and glints menacingly.
Come here, little one. We won't hurt you.
Fester can't believe this is happening.
Wednesday.
Abigail's facade disintegrates and she bellows.
Can you do that again? Your audio glitched a little bit.
Get her!
Abigail pushes him toward Wednesday, who suddenly, scared, takes off running. She runs through Fester's room and across. Interior hall, same time. Into her own room, she slams her bedroom door behind her. Galvanized into action by the hold his mother still has on him, Fester kicks the door open just in time to see interior Wednesday's room, same time. Wednesday throws open a trap door in the floor and disappears down it, pulling the door closed behind her. Fester tries to find it, but the door is seamless. He pounds the floor in frustration. Exterior graveyard night. Wednesday runs through the graveyard and into the darkness of the night. Interior ballroom, same time. Lurch escorts Flora and Fauna more. The twins from the Holmes movies into the ballroom. He takes their wraps, revealing what they are, in fact, a pair of conjoined twins. 25 years later, they still look quite beautiful and quite mad.
Flora and Fauna more.
Gomez approaches, shielding his eyes.
I cannot see. I'm blinded by beauty.
Gomez Addams!
You terrible flirt.
Always was.
At least with me.
Copycat.
Can't go on.
Morticia appears.
Why, Gomez, the Moore twins. I've heard so much about you.
Morticia, I hate you.
You nabbed him, this darling man.
He was mine.
It was mine.
Flora, Fauna, how can I compete? You're twice the woman I am.
Gomez grabs Tully, who is striding by in search of Margaret.
Tully, the Amor twins, they're waiting for Fester. Amuse them.
Oh, hello there, Tully.
I saw him first.
Ignore her.
She's nothing.
Bon chance.
The girls now have their forearms all over Tully, leading him into the dance floor.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care for that.
Cut to interior Fester's bedroom, same time. Abigail's in the room alone. At the moment, Fester comes climbing back through the open window.
I couldn't find her anywhere. Let's just leave her back.
Ugh. Will you pull yourself together? She'll turn up, the little cockroach. Now get to the party or they'll suspect something. I'll be down soon.
Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Flora and Fauna now on the dance floor with Tully, chatter giddily as he tries to maneuver them through a box step.
Oh, you can't imagine how surprised we were when Gomez called and told us Fester was back.
Especially considering.
Anna, girl.
Especially considering what?
Oh, it makes no difference now. It's obvious that Fester and Gomez are devoted.
Why wouldn't they be devoted?
Well, now that Fester's back, he's King Castle again, isn't he?
Fester's the older brother, so he gets it all. The house, the money, you name it.
Fester's still single, isn't he?
Are you, Mr. Alford?
Why, Fauna?
I'm Fauna.
I'm Flora.
I'm flattered. Excuse me, ladies.
Tully winks at Flora and blows a kiss to Fauna. They giggle madly. Tully hurries off and grinning like the cat who swallowed the canary. Cut to interior ballroom, same time. Morticia and Fester have appeared at the door to the ballroom.
Everyone, your attention, please.
The music stops, and the guests fall silent.
When he was lost, our family grieved, and how it became them. Now he is found, and our celebration begins. Our treasured guest of honor, Fester Addams.
She takes him by the hand as if to lead him toward the assembled guests, but instead abruptly spins him by the arm, sending him whirling like a top into the center of the dance floor, where he suddenly stops nose to nose with Gomez. He carries 5 gleaming
Scimitars.
The mamushka.
Cut to interior, a remote corner of the ballroom. Same time. Cousin It and Margaret are waltzing in an out-of-the-way nook. They are somewhat involved.
We've been married for almost 20 years. Sometimes it seems like more. Of course, people grow, people change.
Cut 2. Interior front hall a little later. Tully is heading for the front door in his coat. Abigail stops him.
Where are you going? There's trouble.
Not to worry. Plan B.
But that hideous little girl thing.
I'm in charge. 10 minutes. I'll be back.
Tully slips out the door. Abigail turns, frustrated, throwing up her hands. Upstairs on the dance floor, a reprise of the Mamushka has begun. In the rear of the hall, Cousin It passes across, leading a trembling Margaret. Cut to exterior Judge Womack's home. A short while later, Judge Womack is on the front porch with Tully. The raucous songs of the Mamushka reverberate from the Addams mansion.
What's going on here? What's going on over there?
How would you like to be rid of the Addamses for good? I'm serious.
What can I do for you? Cut to the exterior Addams mansion, 2:00 a.m. Gomez and Morticia stand on the front steps waving goodbye to their departing. Cousin It leans out the window of his limo, sharing a romantic last moment with Margaret.
You're a marvelous dancer. It's been such fun. I can't. We mustn't. Call me?
The limo drives off as Margaret waves a fond farewell. Morticia appears. She puts her arm around Margaret as it drives off.
Oh, Margaret. He's very special, isn't he?
He's perfect.
He's it.
Flora and Fauna giving goodbye kisses to Fester, covering him with lipstick. They hang on him with all 4 arms. He is enjoying himself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you'll come and see me before you leave, won't you, Fester?
I'll call once I'm alone.
The ambulance pulls up. White jacketed attendants step out with a straitjacket built for 2.
There's your ride. Goodbye, girls.
Get to interior upstairs hallway a bit later. Fester skips down the hall, still practicing bits of the mamushka. The Amor twin kisses fresh on his cheeks. He opens the door and strides into interior Fester's room same time. Fester dances into the room. He grabs Abigail and starts dancing with her. Her around and singing.
Gordon?
Fester keeps singing and dancing.
La la la.
Gordon, stop it this instant!
Fester lets her go.
Gordon, is that lipstick all over your face?
From the twins. The beauteous Amor twins.
The twins? Oh, God, Gordon, I don't understand this. Let me get this clear. Have you been having a good time?
Yes, I have. It was marvelous. I sang up a storm. And I danced till I dropped the mamushka.
He begins to dance again. Abigail, breathing fire, sits on the bed, turning away from him.
Mother?
Mother? Who's that? I don't think I recall.
Mother.
Oh, I'm perfectly fine. I'm dandy. Don't concern yourself with me, Gordon. Please, return to your deprived revel. Sometimes I think you're not even my son.
Don't say that.
I'm just your mother. You only owe me your entire existence on this planet. But please, Gordon, by all means, go, sing, dance, date.
Mother, it was just a party. It's over. It means nothing. The Amor twins, that hunchback, cousin they're not you.
Say it, Gordon, and this time make me believe it.
I love you, and I want money.
Then we've got to find Tully.
At 2, interior ballroom, same time. Morticia is looking for her children. She discovers Pugsley asleep, curled up on a silver platter. She finds this enchanting. Gomez enters. Morticia shushes him. She points to the platter.
Oh,
Look, our little boy.
all tuckered out.
So sweet. He looks just like a little entree.
Pugsley wakes up. He looks around.
Where's the party?
It's over, darling. Have you seen your sister?
Not before the mamushka.
Gomez,
Don't fret. We'll find her.
Cut to exterior Addams' yard later. Gomez rallies the family for the search. Morticia wears a black coat. Granny has grabbed her divining rod. Lurch distributes torches. Pugsley helps Gomez unroll an ancient map of the area.
Fan out. Pugsley, head for the dung heap. Mama and Morchika, the swallow grave.
Call your wife?
Morticia,
oh my god, we've
put
been
my
married for 10
no,
years and
why
you don't even know my
name?
name?
I usually call her Tish.
So you
Unacceptable.
Oh, wait, is that what that stood for?
Mama, Morticia, the swallow graves. I'll take the abyss, the lurch, check the bottomless pit.
Her favorite.
Fester,
Up here.
They look up at Fester, looking down at them from Wednesday's window.
Fester, you can take the ravine and the unmarked abandoned well.
Somebody should stay here in case she comes back.
Good man. Good thinking.
Then who will take the swamp?
King tugs at the cuff of Gomez's pants. Gomez nods.
That's the spirit thing. Lend a hand, let's go.
They all sweep off with Gomez in the lead. Interior Wednesday's room. A short while later, Fester's still at the window. Abigail joins him. Their POV. Spread far and wide over the grounds, the various members of the family search for Wednesday. Tiny lights aloft calm.
Where is Tully?
They head out. Cut to interior den a little later. Fester and Abigail find Tully, sitting in an armchair, basking in the rays of sunshine that beam from a copy of The Sun Also Rises. Tully smiles with them.
What are you doing?
Relaxing. taking a little sun.
Oh, okay, taking a little time. Have you gone mad?
On the contrary.
Tilly closes the book and smugly unfurls a legal document. Cut to exterior cemetery. Dark. Gomez reaches a stately mausoleum at the far end of the cemetery. Two proud marble vultures guard the entryway. Gomez lowers the uplifted claw of one of the vultures, and the stone door slides open. He steps into interior mausoleum same time. Inside, it is a catacomb-like filled with the bleached bones of the Addams dead. Gomez's torch casts shadows, one of which belongs to Wednesday, curled asleep on a stone sarcophagus. Relieved to find her, Gomez approaches quietly. He doesn't want to wake her. He lifts her tenderly in his arms. Cut to exterior gate, darkness poured on. Gate can't open. He rattles miserably on his hinges, locked tight with heavy chains and yellow police tape. Large, no trespassing, court order, Addams family, keep out. Signs are posted on gate's rusty bars. Pull back to reveal the family appalled at the sight of gate. Lurch carries the sleeping Wednesday and Pugsley.
What's all this?
Tully hurries down the walkway, waving the legal document.
This is a restraining order, Gomez.
A restraining order?
It requires you to keep a distance of 1,000 yards from this house. You've got about 999 yards to go. Catch my drift?
I am restrained from my own house?
Not your house, Mustache. Not anymore. It belongs to the eldest living descendant, the older of the brothers, Fester Addams.
This is lunacy.
Fester adores Gomez.
He's afraid of him. Seeing the twins brought it all back. Your bitter rivals. Gomez always were, always will be.
It's not so. Those girls meant nothing. He knows that. I demand to see Festa.
Sorry, no can do. He's very hurt. It's not a good time. Leave it alone. Or better yet, just leave.
Wednesday comes forward, rubbing the sleep from her eyes.
He isn't even Uncle Fester.
Gomez and Morticia turn to look at her.
Do not fear, justice shall prevail. The court will decide. They say a man who repents himself was a fool for a client. Well, with God as my witness, I am that fool.
Cut to interior courtroom day. Close-up gavel hammers on the judge's bench. Pull back to reveal. Judge Womack is the presiding judge. He hammers the bench again, then reads his decision.
It is with no small amount of personal satisfaction that I declare Fester Addams the legal executor of the Addams estate and rightful owner to all properties and possessions contained herein. Gomez Addams.
Judge Womack holds up a bucket of golf balls.
I believe these are yours.
Cut to exterior Addams Mansion day. The family members troop to the car with their few possessions. Gomez already sits in the passenger seat of the car, his coat draped over his shoulders, his head thrown back. Morticia carries out Cleo, her carnivorous plant. Granny carries her favorite cauldron. Wednesday, one of her Marie Antoinette dolls. Pugsley, his chemistry set. Lurch uproots his favorite tree and joins the procession. Thing follows, dragging a toy wagon packed with his rings, his gloves. Cut to exterior Addams' overgrown driveway later. The car eases out of the driveway and onto the street, weighed down by Lurch's tree, sticking out of the trunk. Fester, standing at the second-story window, watches the car drive off. Cut to exterior Wampum Court later. The two-story neon arrow points the way to this bungalow court, bright and awful ersatz western. Log cabins of simulated wood surround the teepee-shaped office. The Addams car is parked in front of the furthest cabin. The asphalt has been ripped up into big chunks, and Lurch's tree is parked next to the Addams' new home. Cut to interior bungalow, same time, close-up dressing table mirror. Morticia leans into the frame with an ice pick and a hammer. She deftly makes a large, spidery crack in the round mirror. Sighing deeply, she stands back to admire her handiwork. Granny joins her.
I like it.
Her mother pats her comfortingly.
Just as long as we're together. N'est-ce pas, mon cher?
As she turns to Gomez, we see Gomez sitting slumped in a chair. It's as if all of his insane, vibrant energy has been leached from him. He's a broken man. He looks back at her as if he's never heard French. Wednesday tends to him. She and her mother exchange a worried look. Pugsley comes from the bathroom, nibbling a wrapped bar of Motel soap.
This place isn't too bad. They even put candy in the bathroom.
That's soap, dear.
Oh,
He takes another greedy bite. Wednesday pats her father's arm.
Do you want a cigar, Father?
They're very bad for you.
Father?
Wednesday exchanges a panic-stricken look with Morticia. The family moves closer to Gomez.
But maybe I'll have one of those.
He takes a bar of soap from Pugsley. Gomez unwraps it and morsely eats. Cut to interior Addams Mansion midway to the vault. Close up on 3 hands as they reach up to pull 3 of the countless chains. Cut to exterior Addams' yard midnight. The coal chute on the side of the house drops open, dumping out Fester, Abigail, and Tully. All of them wet and bedraggled and gasping for air.
You're doing this on purpose.
They all struggle to their feet and march grimly back toward the door. Cut to interior Wampum Court bungalow morning. Gomez is stretched out on the naked box springs of his bed, the mattress pushed aside. A damp cloth covers his eyes. Thing massages his aching head. A bowl of Motel soaps is beside him. In contrast, Morticia squarely faces the crisis. She addresses the family from the head of the breakfast table. The want ads open on the table before her.
We are Addamses, and we will not submit. Who recalls the fable of the tortoise and the hare, the swift yet lazy little cottontail, and his slow but determined companion? What does that story teach us as Addamses?
Kill the hare! Skin it! Boil it!
Put the Taurus in the highway.
during rush hour.
Yes, we will survive. Poison us, strangle us, break our bones. We will come back for more. And why?
Because we like it.
Because we're Addamses.
Gomez tries to rouse himself.
We're Addamses.
He burps soap bubbles floating from his mouth. Cut to exterior sidewalk in front of the Wampum Court Day. Wednesday and Pugsley have set up a lemonade stand, their contribution to the Addams' financial well-being. An array of poisons are lined up on their rickety table. They've slashed their prices to a nickel per cup. The pitcher on the table before them steams. Cars speed by. Lurch comes out of the motel courtyard. Pugsley offers him a cup of lemonade.
Here, Lurch, on the hats.
Lurch downs it in a gulp and heads off. Feeling the effects of the lemonade, Lurch burps, a tongue of flame shoots from his mouth. Cut to Interior Employment Agency. Morticia is being interviewed by a personal officer, a relentlessly perky gal with a clipboard.
We have so many homemakers re-entering the workforce. Your domestic skills can be very valuable. At college?
Private tutors,
Major?
spells and hexes.
Liberal arts. That's what your what about your husband? Is he currently employed?
He's going through a bad patch at the moment, but it's not his fault.
Oh, of course not. What is he? A loafer? A hopeless layabout? A shiftless dreamer?
Not anymore.
The personal officer shoots Morticia a doubtful glance and begins rifling through her card file. Cut to exterior Wampum Court later that day. Wednesday and Pugsley are at their lemonade stand. They're negotiating with a pretty little girl in a Girl Scout uniform. The Girl Scout carries several boxes of Girl Scout cookies.
Is this made from real lemons?
Yes.
I only like all natural foods and beverages, organically grown with no preservatives. Are you sure they're real lemons?
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll buy a cup. If you buy a box of my delicious Girl Scout cookies, do we have a deal?
Are they made from real Girl Scouts?
Cut to Interior Daycare Center Day. Morticia is telling a story to a group of toddlers who have gathered in a circle around her, sitting on carpet squares. The room is sunny and cheerful, with crayon drawings taped to the walls.
And so the witch lured Hansel and Gretel into the candy house by promising them more sweets, and she told them to look in the oven, and she was about to push them in when, lo and behold, Hansel pushed the poor, defenseless witch into the oven instead, where she was burned alive, writhing in agony. Now, boys and girls, what do you think that feels like?
After a beat, all the toddlers begin to cry and wail. Cut to exterior bungalow, same time. Granny hurries past the open window of the bungalow. She stops at the sight of Gomez inside, standing on the bed, staring at the television. Close up on the TV set, Gomez is watching Geraldo Rivera hosting his tabloid-style show.
Voodoo zombies, the stuff of legend, or a living nightmare. Do zombies really exist? How are they made? Where can we find them? Call in with your comments.
A call-in number is flashed on the screen. Gomez reaches for the phone. Cut to interior Addams Mansion dining room day. Abigail and Gordon are seated at the opposite ends of the table having lunch. It is very quiet.
After lunch, we'll try again.
Yes, Milo.
We will find the money. And meanwhile, we have this little nest, quiet and cozy, without that dreadful family.
Yes, Mother.
Just the two of us, away from the world, our dream come true.
Yes, Mother.
Cut to interior bungalow an hour later. Close up on the TV screen. Geraldo is talking to a woman in the studio audience.
So, your son was brainwashed by voodoo slave masters and forced to recruit others. Let's take a call.
Geraldo?
Mr. Addams, please stop calling. We don't know where they met.
Pull back to the motel room. Gomez lets the phone drop. Morticia, seated on the edge of the box spring, tries to comfort him. Pugsley, Wednesday, and Lurch are seated nearby, very worried about Gomez. Gomez is now surrounded by junk food and a mountain of junk food wrappers, bags, and styrofoam containers.
I don't understand. All he does is watch TV and eat.
I know. Gomez, let's go for a drive. The whole family.
A drive? And Miss Matlock?
Granny opens the door and sticks her head in.
Dinner's going to be late.
She slams the door. We hear her whistling.
Here, boy. Here, boy.
Get to interior Waltham Court later. Morticia is putting Wednesday to bed.
That man is Uncle Fester. Then who is he, Mother?
I don't know, darling. I wish I did.
Why is that lady doing all this?
It's hard to say. Sometimes people have had terrible childhoods, and sometimes they just haven't found their special place in life, and sometimes they're dogs from hell and must be destroyed.
Morticia kisses Wednesday as she closes her eyes to go to sleep. Cut to interior Waltham, middle of the night. The family sleeps, all but Morticia. She sits up in bed beside Gomez. She looks around at her family. Morticia stares down at Gomez for a long beat. She strokes his hair lovingly, full of resolve. She gets out of bed. Cut to exterior bungalow later. Morticia, fully dressed, wearing her cloak, heads off down the walk. Unseen by her, Thing trails after. Cut to exterior gate a little later. Morticia, just outside the gate, struggles to get it open. Thing, clutching the bars, also attempting to block her way.
Stop it, you two.
Morticia breaks free of Thing. Cut to exterior Addams Mansion a little later. Tully opens the front door. He smiles maliciously at the sight of Morticia on the stoop.
I would like to speak with Fester.
Tully steps aside.
We've been expecting you.
Morticia crosses the threshold. Cut to exterior intersection at the front of the Adams Hill Night. Thing does his best to flag down any of the few oncoming cars. He waves to no avail, dances around in frustration, then tries hitchhiking. Sticking out his thumb, a passing car splashes him with mud. Screwing up his courage in a giant leap, he grabs a hold of the bumper of the next car that comes along and hangs on for dear life as the car speeds down the street. Cut to interior study a little later. Morticia is now stretched out on the torture rack. Fester and Tully are securing her hands and feet under Abigail's supervision. Fester seems torn, agitated, upset.
You are a desperate woman, consumed by greed and infinite bitterness. We could have been such friends.
Oh, I don't think so. The vault, Mrs. Addams. Any thoughts?
Despite everything, I don't hate you. I pity you. Persecution, fiendish torture, inhuman depravity. Sometimes it's just not enough.
Gordon, let's get started.
But Mother,
Stop stalling!
I'm not stalling. Stop badgering me.
Alright, Tully, take over. Tighten it.
I'd love to, you know that, but I've got this stomach thing. When I torture people, it's just me.
Just do it!
Where's your bathroom?
Now!
Until he shuts his eyes and tightens the rack, Morticia's bones make a horrible popping, stretching sound. Morticia sighs contentedly.
You've done this before.
Cut to exterior bungalow night. Thing leaps dramatically onto the porch, then stops dead to knock on the cabin door after a beep.
Who is it? We're paid through Thursday.
He opens the door. Thing rushes in. Cut to interior bungalow minutes later. Thing skitters on the kitchen counter, frantically signing in the background. The rest of the family sleeps.
Slow down, Thing. It's terrible when you stutter.
Frustrated, Thing grabs a spoon and begins tapping out Morse code.
Morticia, in danger. Stop. Send help at once. Stop.
Thing flops down in exhausted triumph. Gomez grabs him and heads off. Cut to interior Gomez's study a few minutes later. Morticia is now lashed to an enormous torture wheel. Tully and Abigail are tending the stick branding iron stuck in the roaring fire.
You can't, not with red hot pokers.
Is this going to smell?
Tully Alford, charlatan, deadbeat, parasite. How Gomez adored you.
Well, not enough.
Morticia, please.
Dear Fester, or whoever you are, which is the real you? The loathsome, underhanded monster you've become, or the loathsome, underhanded monster we came to love?
Don't ask me.
Gordon, I have a thought. Just a notion, top of my head. Tell me what you think. Since you and Mrs. Addams are so very close.
Abigail takes her red hot poker out of the fire and hands it to Fester.
Be my guest.
Cut to interior Addams' car at night. Gomez cuts the engine. The car glides silently through gate, who opens uncharacteristically without a creak. Gomez stops the car and skulks out. Thing skulks after him. Gomez sees the reflections of the roaring fire through the study window. Cut to interior study same time. As Fester takes the poker and approaches Morticia, Gomez crashes through the window in a backflip. Thing judo flips in after Gomez.
Mia!
Mon cher.
Addams!
Thing tosses Gomez a saber off the study wall. Tully also grabs a saber and approaches Gomez from behind.
Darling, take care.
Without even looking, Gomez parries Tully's blow from behind. Then he whirls on Tully.
Dirty trick, old man. Never again.
This is for keeps, Gomez, not just for doubloons.
Tully fights, then slashes, shredding the front of Gomez's jacket.
One for you, Tully. And
Gomez attacks his blade, flashing like lightning, and a blur of action. Tully's sword is knocked from his hand, and he's sent tumbling backward, finally landing on his knees.
one for me.
Tully looks up at Gomez with cowardly, pleading eyes.
Gomez, it's Tully, your lawyer.
Let him up.
Gomez turns to see Abigail, who now has a pistol aimed at Morticia. One shot and Morticia will die horribly. Gomez throws aside his sword. Tully scrambles to his feet.
Yeah, that's right. Now get moving, Addams. Take him to the vault. And if you're not back in 1 hour, I displace her. Copy.
Gomez is near enough now to take Morticia's hand on the torture wheel.
Tish, seeing you like this, my blood boils.
As does mine.
This wheel of pain.
Our wheel.
Close upon Fester, confused at watching this emotional display.
To live without you, only that would be torture.
A day alone. Only that would be death.
Gomez kisses Morticia's hand.
Would you knock it off already?
Gomez and Morticia pause and turn to stare at Abigail, irritated that she has interrupted their romantic moment.
The vault, Addams, right now, or I'll shoot her.
But, Mother, can't we?
Gomez reaches for the book that will open the secret panel.
Can it, Gordon? Stop dragging your feet. Oh, you disgust me. You're nothing but a useless, sniveling baby. A stone around my neck. What was I thinking? I should have left you where I found you.
At Abigail's final words, Fester suddenly leaps forward.
No tricks, Gomez. That's the wrong book.
Close up, Gomez hands on the right book. Greed, but Fester stops him from pulling it.
Allow me.
Gomez looks into Fester's eyes, realizing what he's about to do.
Uh-huh.
No. Allow me.
Good show, old man.
No, allow me.
No. All right, calm down.
Fester reaches for a different book. Hurricane Irene, Nightmare from Above. Seeing the title of the book, Tully suddenly panics.
Put that book down! Gordon! You don't know what it can do. It's not just literature.
Oh, really?
I'm your friend, Gordon. Think of the doubloons.
They're not yours, Tully. Back off.
Anglon Gomez releasing Morticia from the torture wheel.
Quickly, my darling.
He helps her down from the wheel.
Leather straps, red hot pokers.
Later, my dearest.
Anglon Fester facing off with Abigail as Tully cowers.
Keep the book closed, Gordon. Listen to Mother.
I'll never listen to you. Not ever again.
I had to be strict with you because I care. Now put it down.
You never really loved me.
Anglon Gomez and Morticia nearing the bookcase.
Come, my love, to safety.
But what about Fester?
Old man, this way.
Anglon, Abigail, and Fester.
Just stop whining, you little good-for-nothing. Be a man.
You're a terrible mother. There, I said it.
Fester opens the book and blasts Tully out the window. Then he blasts Abigail as well. Anglon Gomez, who has now pulled the right book, Greed, to open the bookshelf. Amid the storm, he is leading Morticia behind the bookshelf. He tries to hold the bookshelf open for Fester to follow, fighting the gale force winds.
This way!
Anglon Thing across the room, struggling across the floor toward the bookshelf. Thing fights the wind, which pelts him with papers and other flying debris. Gomez can no longer fight the storm, and the bookshelf slams shut. Fester desperately tries to close the book to quell the storm, but a huge bolt of lightning zaps him. He falls to the floor, with electricity coursing through him. Moving on the storm, raging within the pages of the book, then fade to black.
Well, thanks for joining this edition of Victory.
It was super fun.
Stayed in on Interior Addams Mansion, Front Hall, next October. The family is busily decorating the house for their annual Halloween festivities. All the decorations are elegant, yet ancient, dusty, and faded. Gomez hangs upside down from the balcony. Morticia hands him a decoration. Granny appears from the kitchen, carrying a tray of food.
I made finger sandwiches.
Perch on Fester's shoulders. Thing shakes in fear.
Here we come.
Wednesday and Pugsley come down the stairs. Wednesday is dressed in her usual style, but Pugsley is dressed as a tiny version of Uncle Fester, complete with bald head and greatcoat. The adults are delighted. Gomez flips down onto his feet.
Pugsley, old man.
Look at you.
How do you like it?
Fester is very touched. He picks Pugsley up.
What can I say? He's going to break our hearts.
Let's get a picture. Lurch!
Oh yes, in the den.
Everyone starts to move toward the den. There's a knock on the door. Everyone turns. Lurch opens the door. Standing outside is Margaret and Cousin It. Margaret is dressed as a fairy princess, complete with wand. Cousin It wears a cowboy hat and bandana and a holster. Margaret is radiant, obviously very much in love.
Trick or treat.
Look, everyone, we have guests!
Hello, Margaret. Cousin It, I almost didn't recognize you.
Isn't he handsome? Everyone keeps asking where he bought his costume.
It is a wonderful hat.
And what are you, darling? What's your costume?
This is my costume. I'm a homicidal maniac. They look just like everyone else.
Oh.
Cut to interior dining hall. A few minutes later, Fester and Pugsley are posed at one end of the room. Lurch has set up an easel and canvas. He is painting Fester and Pugsley's portrait. Gomez and Wednesday are sitting on the floor amid newspapers, carving a pumpkin. Morticia is knitting. Margaret and Cousin It sit together, holding hands. Granny brings people cups of steaming punch from a punch bowl.
Halloween. It's such a special time, ghosts and goblins.
Children begging in the street.
So glad I can share this night with my family. My real family. Now that I've got my memory back.
That unfortunate woman, filled with evil, but not enough.
She wasn't your mother. She just said that.
You remember it, old sport. She really did find him tangled in a tuna net 25 years ago with amnesia.
From the Bermuda Triangle.
How true. Stranger things have happened.
I'm sorry, and I'm not bitter, but I blame Thule. Oh, stop. I'm blushing.
Thank God for that lightning. Knock some sense into you.
Please, Uncle Fester,
Pugsley!
for the picture.
Fester pops a light bulb in his mouth. It lights. Pugsley giggles. Gomez stands up, having finished the pumpkin. He places it on the table and lights the candle inside. The pumpkin glows. It has one eye in the middle of its forehead.
You know, all the old sayings are true. There's no place like home, and the blood is thicker than water.
And just as refreshing.
Alright, everybody. Time for a game. What shall it be? Bobbing for apples?
Charades?
Of course, wake the dead.
Wake the dead.
Out to the cemetery. Come on, everyone.
Everyone starts to exit, chattering happily.
I've never played this before. How does it go?
Did you bring a shovel?
The family hurries past a glass display case. The camera pans up the case. It contains Abigail and Tully, expertly mounted and stuffed.
Well, come on!
We'll catch up.
Fester runs out. Cut to interior front hall. Everyone is gone. Morticia and Gomez have drifted into the front hall. They are moving toward the front door.
Our family.
Oh, Tish, what a night. Everyone together at last. What more could we ask?
Gomez.
Morticia holds up the garment she's been knitting. It's a baby jumper with 3 legs.
Mia, is it true?
Oui, mon cher.
Cut to exterior Addams mansion. Same time. Morticia and Gomez are silhouetted in the doorway. There's a full moon. In the distance, a wolf howls. Wispy goats flit through the night sky. A human scream is heard. Followed by Granny's cackle. In the cemetery, torches are seen like fireflies. Fade out. The end.
What a human scream.
Yeah, sorry. That's a more human scream. Bum, bum.
They are creepy and they are spooky. They're They're
They're
mysterious.
creepy and kooky, man. You don't know the song? Jeez.
Oh.
That's what I just said.
No, you creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. Jeez. You don't know how this
What did I
works?
say?
Yeah, Kristen using it.
They're creepy and they're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together.
All
Ookie,
together,
The Addams
ookie,
Family.
the Addams Family.
Da-na-na-na. 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 Their house is a museum. When people come to see them, they really are a scream. The Addams Family. Da-na-na. 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 Da-na-na.
Yeah.
Yeah.